first guy I called to help me with the weed problem in the backyard and sort of general design ideas wanted to use Roundup on the weeds in the backyard, and I want this to be a wildlife sanctuary completely free of toxins and harboring all kinds of wildlife. So I absolutely said no to using Roundup and decided to do this digging all myself. I used a program called Paint Shop Pro to just quickly sketch in where I might want to have some pots and plants and the path loop that I had around the backyard. And I looked at a bunch of stuff on Pinterest and I just loved the stone pathway. So that was sort of what I got started with as far as the concept for the path. My goal in this garden was to incorporate the concept of edible landscaping, where throughout the garden there are edible plants planted as well as ornamentals and plants that would attract pollinators and other types of insects and birds. Some of the plants were already here, a few, but most of it involved making selections that would work in this garden. The strawberry guava was already here, avocado tree, and the lime tree were already planted by the owner. I planted a kumquat, a yellow lemon, banana, which attracted these wonderful wasps. The wasps pollinated the bananas and actually had a nest under one of the banana leaves right there on the tree. I also tried to grow tomatoes, and I have so far been rather unsuccessful because there seems to be some sort of like a spider mite that attacks them. And this is the only zucchini I ever was able to harvest because I got squash vine borers, which I'd never dealt with before living on the West Coast, but they actually live in the soil, and so I'm going to have to try and come up with a way of combating that without toxins. On the potting shed or the dog kennel, I planted maracuya or passion fruit, which I found out attracts these wonderful zebra long-wing butterflies. The larvae are actually kind of gross looking, kind of black worm looking type things, but then they end up making a chrysalis, and next thing you know, you've got zebra longwings. There's a large variety of other butterflies that are attracted. For instance, the pink spotted cattleheart is attracted to my bougainvillea. I get the white peacock butterfly. And I, of course, get monarch butterflies. I planted a lot of milkweed seeds from plants that I found along the roadside. I collected the seeds and planted some in the backyard, and now they're really taking over. So I get quite a lot of monarchs in my yard. A restaurant in town was relocating and getting rid of a lot of the things that they had in their old location, and I grabbed this metal arch, which apparently was used for weddings and that sort of thing, and I painted it hot pink and put it against the purple wall in the back. And I planted jasmine, a really fragrant variety, and it's growing like mad. It's really nice to engage all of the senses in the garden, so I incorporated this fragrant jasmine which scents the whole yard. So by August things were starting to really take shape, and by December things had really started taking off. March is the beginning of our really super dry season, and it starts getting really hot in April, May, June, and then mid-June it starts raining again. So by July things are really quite rainy and things are really starting to get green and lush again. The rainy season lasts through November here. One of the things that didn't really work out as planned was this wonderful solar fountain that I installed. Unfortunately, my dogs drank from it and ended up getting sick, so I had to remove the solar fountain. Another thing that didn't really work out was this concept for the path. The stones, large stones, work fine, but I tried one section putting the small stones in between, and they just popped right back out again within a few hours with my dogs trotting around. So now I just let little weeds grow in there. I pull the ones I don't want and let the ones I kind of like survive in between the stones. Now I'm going to go through pictures of some of the plants that do really well here. Most of these I grow in my own garden. Some of them get too big, so I didn't plant them. One of my biggest problems in planting the garden was that there was so much full sun. There really weren't any large trees at all. So if you are planting in this latitude, even things that say they can take full sun often burn to a crisp pretty quickly. So the concept of shade and partial shade, an awful lot of plants really appreciate having some kind of shade during the hottest part of the day.